Hello, I'm Rick Childhouse, and because things on the internet seem to lose their date references pretty quick, today is Tuesday, November 14th, 2023. On Friday, September 8th, 2023, we are on our way to Ely, Nevada for the Nevada Northern Railway Museum, and we stopped in Barstow, and we stopped at the Western American Railroad Museum. Interesting place. I do have a grievance with them. Their signage is horrible. It was probably 2.5 hour drive to get up there, so it was time to stretch the legs and get gas and whatever else. So that was nice. If we're headed to Vegas again and we're not in a hurry, headed past Vegas, back to Ely to see the Nevada Northern Railway Museum, we'll probably stop there again. But unless there's a reason to stop, we've quote-unquote been there. It is a nice museum. It's got a lot of, not a lot, it's got several locomotives outside, a couple of cars outside, all fairly weather worn, and a lot of stuff inside the museum, which kind of indicates somebody had railroad stuff and wanted to get it somewhere, and they took it. As I said, my grievance with the museum is signage. Very little signage in the museum, and tough to find anything on a homepage for it. You click on the homepage for it, it takes you to other places. So I like trains. I like train museums. On a scale of 1 to 10, this one's a 5. And I've only been in one that was a 4, and nothing's been below the 4. So if you got the time, not in a hurry, need to stretch your legs, it's a nice museum to stop at. Admission's free, parking's free, and it's about maybe 10 minutes from the interstate, so it's not that far away. Let's get on with the video and hope you enjoy it. Our GPS took us to the Western American Railroad Museum in Barstow without a problem. This is the monument or the signage you see out in front, and when you go to park it tells you that the Railroad Museum's in the back. We knew that it was closed at the time because we got there before its opening time, and so we kind of walked around the building, and here's some pictures of the Barstow station, which is a huge facility. And as you come around the back side, back to where you're looking at this yellow house with the rust red roof on it, this tower, small whatever it is, and the green door and the brick extension. The museum is in that brick extension with the green door. And outside, here's this Knights of the Rails, a document, a presentation about hobos and who they really were. And the last one is our trip was over, even though our video isn't, and Joyce was walking back to our car with our souvenirs, and our car is parked next to that light pole. This Santa Fe 6307, I looked it up, it's an EMD SD40. There is no signage on the outside of the museum about what these engines are, which is a bit disappointing. On the museum's homepage, which I just looked up, I found information about some of their engines. So this particular one appears to have been a Visalia electric engine, which I believe is a company. It was 502. It's a General Electric 44-ton switcher, and it was built in August of 1945. No information on the museum's homepage on the Santa Fe 95. Search of the internet says it may be a General Electric FP95, built in 1965. Searching the internet because there's no information on the homepage for the museum. This is an EMD SD40. It's the Union Pacific 9950. I like this layout of an engine. It just looks neat. On this Atchison, Topeka, Santa Fe 1460, I'm going by the internet that it is a Baldwin BLW or VO-1000 engine. Again, no information at the museum. This is kind of a look around the outside display. There is free parking. There's a lot of it. It's kind of an interesting parking lot to get in and out of. And a couple of cabooses on display. One of the cabooses is got this placard on it about who it's owned by. And if you go around museums and see some of these that are in their original running condition, you'll see a lot of these that are owned by banks, trusts, or investment companies, leased to the railroad, and they contain warnings like this, or advisories, whatever you want to call them. I'm only guessing based on what I found on the internet that this was a car designed to carry racehorses. The other end is a standard entry door for people, but this door here on the backside of the car opens up massively, and the car is built very, very strong. This is another interesting one. I found some photos on the internet where there are standard railroad trucks at the ends of these, and they are being pulled in a train. It looks like the top of them comes off to hold some sort of specific cargo. I have no logic in saying this, but it looks like it might be something to carry aerospace or some specific cargo. No signage, no information, no one knew anything. The last of our outdoor shots, this is some of the stuff that's laying around the yard. Cars that have no signage, trucks that indicate it's a railroad museum, the types of rails that went through several things. Really disappointed with the signage at the museum. There was a decent-sized model railroad layout in the interior of the museum. It's shown here in several photographs. Unfortunately, it was not running, which is kind of a disappointment. I think kids would have loved it. I would have loved to see it running. The last of our outdoor shots, this is some of the stuff that's laying around the yard. Cars that have no signage, trucks that indicate it's a railroad museum, the types of rails that went through several things. Really disappointed with the signage at the museum. Some of the modes of transportation that are inside the building of the museum. The Kalamazoo motor car, it says it's been modified. It looks pretty. I don't see a motor. The hand car, which is 1 to 4 manpower, and built in 1900. The Kalamazoo, the Sheffield velocipede is a bicycle system used to navigate the rails primarily for inspection, which is kind of cool. I think I'd like to build one of these someday, but I don't have a track to run them on. And then there was a speeder sitting there. And there was a mass of miscellaneous items associated with operating a railroad, and some of them were kind of cool. Some of them were mechanical, a piston sitting there, steam utilization system of some kind, typewriters, teletypes, old computers, the Car and Locomotive Cyclopedia, which is a Bible for what's in railroads, and all sorts of stuff. Just if they had it, if they got it, they put it somewhere. Around the corner from the Western American Railroad Museum in Barstow is the Harvey Girl Museum, or the Harvey House Museum for Barstow, because they were at numerous places. Inside the Western American Railroad Museum, there was more information about the Harvey Girls in the Harvey House than there was in the Harvey House Museum, and Joyce is just making fun of this. There were several pictures in the museum that caught my eye, and this FT-163 Santa Fe, if you ask me what a railroad should be, I will tell you it's the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe. That's just my preference, and I like the War Bonnet blue and gold presentation on their noses. And two of these had legends, the other one didn't. I'm not sure what these, in the Santa Fe, where you've got the triple header pulling the trains, looks like a triple header. Might actually be 4 or 5 or 6. Ooh, it's a whole bunch of engines. They look like Jeep 7s, low-nose Jeep 7s, low-nose Jeep 9s, whatever. I'm not a train expert. I just love trains. These are railroad spikes. They are collectibles. If you're walking, if your neighbors have railroad rails somewhere on their property, contain water flow, whatever, boundary lines, and these are there, pull them out. They tell you, depending on which ones you pull, they could tell you the date, the number of the tie, all sorts of information. It's all coded, and there are digests to break these codes down. Lanterns, safety and signaling, big thing with railroads. They had quite a display of them. Somebody was having fun with upholstery. This pattern is all railroad related. I'm kind of envious. I don't think I would have made it a chair, maybe a pillow, maybe a blanket, something along those lines. And this is just a overall view of the gift shop and the inside of the museum. There's a number of displays in here as well. Barstow is still active with trains, and as we were leaving, here's this long freight that we got a photo of. And then just this is classified as their new bridge, and I understand it just opened, made life really convenient. So that concluded our visit to the museum. We spent probably 20 to 30 minutes outside looking at the few cars and engines they had on display. We probably spent 45 minutes inside the museum once it opened, and it is free admission as I remember, so that's a good price. I enjoyed looking at the stuff. I was disappointed with the signage. And it's in Barstow, so for us it's like 2.5 hours from home, and almost about halfway to Las Vegas, so it's a great place to stop, stretch your legs, whatever. They do have limited hours, and the only reason we would stop again is if it was convenient and we needed to stretch our legs or get gas. I am disappointed with the signage. I think they can do a whole lot better than that.